Yes, the Portuguese speak fast. And you may think, they speak so fast, it's almost impossible, it's an impossible mission to understand them. Well, if you haven't studied Portuguese for some time and you struggle to understand them, no matter how many things you try to do, let me know that I'm here to help you out. Olá, I'm Sara. I'm Portuguese. I was born and raised in Lisbon. I'm a Portuguese teacher, and my goal as a teacher is to help people understand the Portuguese, so it's listening comprehension, and my main goal is to help people not only learn the language but also to have a good life, making friends, making Portuguese friends, having the best life that they can have in Portugal with the Portuguese or in any Portuguese community all around the world. So you think that the speed is the issue, or at this point, because you already tried so many things to actually overcome this challenge, maybe you think, oh, it's not to me, like it's not for me, this maybe I don't have talent enough, I'm not good enough at languages, I've tried so many things that I think it's just the way it is. Well, probably you didn't learn exactly what makes the Portuguese language, especially the Portuguese from Portugal, being so difficult to understand. You may think, oh, when I read, I can understand, but when I listen to people, it sounds like a complete different language, and I just can't keep up. Well, actually, that way of thinking is not completely wrong, because the truth is the way the Portuguese speak is not exactly the way the Portuguese write. Okay, we need to understand that the written language is like a code, and if you think about a country, you know that the north, the center, and the south, people have different accents, right? It happens in any country, but the way we write is just one, right? So, for example, if you are an English native speaker and you are, let's say you are British, the way you write is the same. It doesn't matter if you are from London or from Bristol. It doesn't matter if you are from Ireland, I believe, because it's the same grammar. And the way you write water in British English is the same way that you write water in American English, although the accent is different. Okay, so the way we write is the same, but the written language does not represent all this variety of accents and dialects. So you cannot expect the spoken language to be exactly like the written language. So what can we do? Well, the speed is not the main issue, although especially if you're starting learning Portuguese, just like any other skill, you are starting for the first time, and you need to make it a little bit slowly because you're not very used to that, right? When you start riding a bicycle, you go like a bit slow, not that fast, right? But especially if you have been learning Portuguese for a couple of months, you are realizing that something else there that is not helping you understand when the Portuguese speak. You think that they speak fast, and for that reason they are eating words, are eating letters, they are blending words together, but it's not necessarily the case. That's a characteristic of European Portuguese, that to speak more naturally, with the flow, we do cut letters, we don't pronounce some letters, and we do blend words together, and by blending words together we may change some sounds in that combination of words that we blended. So today here I'm going to show you a couple examples that will help you understand better what's happening when the Portuguese speak, and specifically this blending situation. Okay, we are going to cover vowel reduction, not pronouncing some letters in another video, because this is a big topic. There are a lot of things to talk about it. There are so many things to talk about it that it's very useful and important for you to learn, that I even did a complete course about it. Is the Understand Portuguese course, where I use my method, the power listening method, and throughout the course, different lessons, I teach you exactly what happens with each word, that each letter that we do not pronounce, what happens to it, why and how it happens, and also all this word blending situation and what changes when we blend it together, plus exercises for you to train. You have a lot of examples. I pronounce them very clearly, very slowly, and also fast, so you get used to it. You can check the course down below in the link in this description. But let me show you the first sentence that I'm going to use as example, and it's a very the sentence that I use are very useful sentence, because this sentence we use in our daily life, so you will for sure hear and listen Portuguese saying these words and these sentences. So very basic sentence, okay, but here we're not thinking about the grammar or the vocabulary. Okay, how if it's the basic grammar or basic vocabulary, we are thinking about how the Portuguese are going to pronounce this, linking words together. So this is: ela está em casa. Ela está em casa. And you may expect that we are going to say something like this, like pronouncing every letter. Ela, right? Ela está em casa. But what we actually say, what you actually hear, is going to be this. Oh my God, Sara, what's that? Ela está em casa. Ela está em casa. Sim, ela está em casa, which means she is at home. Ela está em casa. So what happens here? We have ela, right? She is. Ela está. And this word that you see here, está, we don't say está. We say está. Like this. Está, 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 está. Okay? Está, and then a nasal sound, em, which corresponds to in, and then casa. Ela está em casa. Ela está em casa. Ela está em casa. So these 4 words may seem just like one long word, because we don't pause when we have 2 words. For example, like this: ela está em casa. We don't speak like this. When we write, we put spaces between words, but when we speak, it's actually, we pause when we breathe. So we say a couple of words together, and then we pause, breathe, and we say a couple of words together again. Okay, so ela está em casa. Ela está em casa. Ela está em casa. Alright? When you hear this, when you hear ela está em casa, you may notice there are some words, some letters that are more easy to hear. And that's the case because, for example, in this word casa, the first A, it's an open sound, a, but the second, it's a low A, casa, casa. And if your ear is not trained to this, to hear these different A's, you may think that they are just saying casa, C-A-S. No, casa. And in my experience, what happens when for some time students think that this is the case, that we are not pronouncing the A at all. When they try to speak, they speak this way, not pronouncing the lower sounds. This last A, casa, it's lower, so it's more subtle. It's not that loud, but it's there. It's low, it's soft, but it's there. So when you speak, you also need to pronounce this. You need to say this sound, but lower. Okay? So some students, as I said, they listen, and because their ear is not that trained, they think that the Portuguese are not pronouncing these letters at all, but they actually are. But it's lower. So you need also to lower. And a very good advice for you to say this lower is to close your mouth. Because when you need to pronounce an open sound, like A, E, I, you need to open your mouth. But when you are pronouncing you need to close your mouth more. Okay, so when you're trying to pronounce this soft, low sounds, close your mouth more to be able to pronounce them. Okay, so ela está em casa. She's at home. Ela está em casa. Ela está em casa. Ela está em casa. Can you repeat with me? Ela está em casa. 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 And if we want to be more colloquial and informal, we can delete this whole syllable here. Like this. And you will hear the Portuguese speaking like this. It's very common, very frequent. So instead of está, just tá. Ela está em casa. Ela está em casa. Can you repeat with me? Ela está em casa. Ela está em casa. Ela está em casa. Let's see another example. So, this is the sentence. Do you have a minute? In Portuguese is tens minuto? Tens minuto? You may expect something like this. Tens minuto. But what you actually hear is tens minuto? Tens minuto? Tens minuto? Sim? Tens minuto? So what is happening here? The first word is tens. And you ask me, Sara, how to say you have or do you have in Portuguese? Well, that's tens. Sh, sh, sh. Tens. That's the sound. Sh. Tens. So you expect that this word is going to be pronounced every single time tens. But this is not the case. If we have a situation like this, when we have an S and then a vowel, in this case we have the word which starts with a vowel, then the S is going to be pronounced as Z. Tens minuto? Tens minuto? And then minuto. Nothing special here. So the point in this question, in this sentence, is when we have these two words together, so linking words together, make some parts of these words change. So in this specific case, tens ends with S, but the next word starts with a vowel. And we have this combination of N, S, plus a vowel. In this case, the vowel U. So a word starts in a certain, ends with a certain way. A word ends in a certain way. and the next word starts in a certain way. So when we put this together, it's going to change. Usually, the end of the first word is going to change. Okay? Tens minuto. Separately, it has a pronunciation. When we link it together, it has a different one. Tens let me underline here. Tens tens, pause, but together in the flow. Tens 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 minuto. Tens minuto. How about the combination of and minuto? Actually, nothing happens here because the word right here, here, ends with a nasal sound, and here we write with an M. The next word, minuto, starts with also an M. In this case, the sound is mi. So nothing happens here. Okay, this pattern that we see here, NS plus a vowel. Let me write here vowel. Is because the first word, in this case tens, ends with an S, and the next one starts with a vowel. This linking things, what the change that happens, it's when one word ends with a consonant and the next one starts with a vowel. When we link words together and then the sound changes, is because of this, most of the times, because one word ends with a consonant and the next one starts with a vowel, so we put them together. Okay, most of the situations where we change the sounds by linking words together is because of this. Okay, which is not the case in here, and minuto, because this is not consonant vowel. This is vowel, a nasal sound, a vowel, right, and a consonant. Is the other way around. Okay, so we put together when we have consonant and then a vowel, not vowel and then consonant. Let me know if this was clear for you. If you want more examples, because I can do another videos like this. You can also check my complete course, of course, it's not a curse, sorry. My complete course about listening comprehension is called Understand Portuguese. It's 100% complete. Everything that you need to know about this topic, about how to eat words and how by linking words together the sound changes, also with a lot of exercises for you to practice your ear to wherever, everything that is happening when the Portuguese speak. The link is down below, and my WhatsApp is also down below in case you have questions about it. All right, let me know if you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you next time with other videos about how you can understand the Portuguese and about this wonderful world of language learning. Até a próxima. See you next time.